All right then, fresh off of our playoff final victory, we've got a League One campaign to prepare for. So let's go and do our first ever transfer special. Hello guys, David here and welcome back to episode number 49 of Hometown Hero here with Salisbury FC. And in today's episode is something a little bit different, something that I've never done on this channel with Salisbury FC before. In fact, probably something I've never really properly done because I've always been in funky countries, so it's really difficult to do. But we are going to be doing a transfer special in today's episode and a bit of a season review as well. Just a few bits that you wouldn't have seen on the last episode in the playoff final which obviously want to keep you guys updated as well. But before we get into that, if you do enjoy this series, please make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't done already, because it's a really big thing. If you guys can do that as well, it really supports the channel and keeps me going. But anyway, let's go into this. There will be, obviously, it'll be cutting in and out quite a lot. Obviously, I'm not going to just do all of it live now. I will do some bits, skim forwards, and so on and so forth until we get to probably the eve of the first game of the new season, so we can kind of see where the squad is looking at and things like that. So hopefully you enjoy this. If you do like it, let me know in the comments down below as well, because if you want to see more of things like this, then I'll continue to do them as well. I think it might be interesting for you guys to see kind of where we go with the squad, things like that. But before we do that, there's a few things just to keep you guys updated on in terms of what's happened. As you obviously will imagine, we got a record high for Salisbury FC because we finished 7th in League 2. It was the first time we'd been in League 2, so wherever we finished would have been a record high, which is good. Inducted into the overall squad best 11. This is a weird one, I think, because there's some people in here I don't think should be where they are. I've got to be honest. Callum Rollins in goal, Brooklyn Genesini, Ethan Sutcliffe, Andy Janieva, Sean Chamberlain-Gale, Dylan Thistleton, Cameron James, Dom Jeffries, Antonio Diaz, Marvin Brooks and Aaron Owen is the first starting 11. So you see them here in that 4-4-2. I can understand a few of them. In fact, I can understand most of them. The one that I'm most surprised about, with all due respect to the lad, is Marvin Brooks, because he pushed Warren Bentley to the bench, which just doesn't make any sense to me. Well, I'll show you the stats in a minute. Alexander Jr. on the bench with Jamie Bradley Green, Tom Purrington, Miles Hemmings, Tommy Wright, Ollie Gardner, and Warren Bentley on the bench, which, yeah, to me is weird, because if you compare these two, 150 appearances, 115 goals, average rating of 7.15, 83 games, 30 goals, average rating of 7.04. I just don't get it. In fact, I've just looked at the wrong guy. But even so, 80 goals, 27 games, 7.09. Like, that's not the same. That's really weird. It also tells me that we've got some players who've scored some serious goals for us. To be fair, Tommy Wright 116 with 55 goals. Even Miles Hemmings 10 in 59. Dom Jeffries 27 in 134. Dylan Thistleton from the wing 28 in 152. Like, it's quite impressive how many goals you've scored, to be fair. But yeah, not entirely convinced with that. I would have put Warren Bentley probably ahead of Aaron Owen, to be completely honest. But each to their own. Whatever you say, chaps. And I probably would have brought out Alexis Andre Jr. and put Okonkwo in, but I do appreciate he's only done one season, so I can kind of get that. Where are they now? Let's have a look at that. Brooklyn Genesini, Sutcliffe, Janieva, Thiston, Diaz, Wright and Rollins are still with the club, as we know. Warren Bentley, obviously, coach. Cameron James at Woking. Dom Jeffries at Eastbourne Borough. Purrington at Weymouth. Andre Jr. at Bognor Regis. And then Reece James, Marvin Brooks, Bradley Green. Reece Davies, was he in it? Didn't even notice him. He's retired as a player at 23 years old. Bless him. That's not ideal, is it? Jake Cope also retired as a player at 23. He had a big injury, though, so I can kind of let him off. Ollie Gardner also retired as a player after he moved on from us. Tommy Edeloy also retired. I mean, what's going on there? Jamie Bradley... What's going on? Why do people leave us and then just retire? What have I done to these players? I'm really worried now. We've looked at that. That was in the last episode. I'm not going to do that again. This is the Salisbury side of 2020. So this is the one where we won the league in the first season, which is quite fun. Ollie Knowles, he's actually still playing, which is nice. Obviously, Antonio Diaz is the only one still at the club. Jay Sean is at Billericay, Somerton and Merstham. Adam Page at Bracknell. Ollie Knowles, which we just saw. Sam Roberts at Bideford. Elliot Wheeler for Ashford Town. Dan Fitch at Thatcham. And I would imagine all of these guys have retired. Looking at that. Yes, they have, because I know all the other ones have, because we saw them. Yes. There you go. Done. What else are we looking at? This season, I'm not going to do that. Here we go. Right, let's get planning for next season, shall we? So what have we got here? There's some changes I want to make immediately. I don't want to make the most of set pieces, so we're going to remove that. Repair the club's financial damage, fight bravely against relegation. That seems about right. And the good thing is Frankie Reynolds has immediately gone, yep, that's fine. You don't have to make the most of set pieces. I'm happy with that. I don't want to do it. I'm not very good at set pieces. I've had so many different tactics. I can't get them to work. So, yeah, there we go. Squad dynamics update, excellent dressing room atmosphere, excellent managerial support. Team leaders, you'd be pleased to know I have already put in an offer for Ethan Sutcliffe, which has been accepted, so you just need to get the contract stuff signed. Yeah, that's fair enough. So Thistleton, Janieva, Chambers, Zamora, Perry, Okonkwo, Kessler, Rodber and Turnbull are the highly influential players. Diaz, Owen, Jay Young, Dan Brennan and Danny Edwards are the influential players. To end of season, oh God, I hate these team meetings. So what we have to do is we just have to say exactly what the board said. So we have to fight bravely against relegation. So we just have to do that. Where does it say that? I don't know. I can't see it. We can avoid the drop. We've all done... Yeah, here we go. Here we go. That's what we want to say. So, cool. We'll discuss promises when you come back, because I can't be bothered with that. There we go. Done. Job done. Let's move on. Right, report, we'll come back to this. End of season break back on the 22nd of June. So yeah, new season team report. We need, how can I not click on this? Okay, we'll do it this way then. Because we need to go and have a look at squad depth. Because that's where we need to know where we need to improve. So, up front, yeah, I think we're looking okay there, to be fair. I think we'll be alright because we've got Aaron Owen, Sam Rodbert, Jake Young, and we've got Tommy Wright, who we know can do a job as well, regardless of what level he's at, it seems. We definitely need a left winger. Hemmings is good, but I think we need another one. We need someone who can play a bit further forward as well, but I'll come on to the other tactic in a minute. Definitely need a centre mid. Could probably do with a backup right mid, but I'm going to try and bring Dan Brennan back in on loan. Definitely could do with a left back. Definitely needed a couple of new centre halves. Right back, I think we're okay. And in goal, probably do with a young backup, maybe. I would think. And then, yeah, I think it's pretty much the same. We've got a defensive mid because we've got Harry Owen and Danny Edwards who can do a job there, so that's all right. And then, yeah, we could probably do with a little bit of support on the left just to keep Sam Rodber from playing too many games, if that's the case. So what we're looking at left mids, we're looking at centre mids, and we're looking at centre halves and left back. So I think that's about kind of where we are. So what I'll do is I will skim forwards a couple of months until anything big happens. If anything big happens whilst we're going through this, I'll come back to you. But we'll do that. We'll skim forwards, and hopefully in about a month's time in game, we'll have a little bit to show for our efforts, and I'll show you what we're doing with the squad. Alrighty then, sports fans. It's the 3rd of July, and it's also a lot warmer now when I'm recording this than it was the last time because it's a new day. We're in the middle of April, and it's actually bloody warm. It's quite nice anyway. So we have gone through past 1st of July or 30th of June, which is when the free contracts all finish. So we haven't done anything since that point, nothing major, but we'll update you on a couple of changes that we've done since the last clip that we were involved in. So we'll go straight into the transfers. We'll talk to you about people who've moved on, people who've come in, that sort of fun stuff. So we'll go back a year and we'll start with Ethan Sutcliffe. So Ethan Sutcliffe has officially joined the club on a permanent deal. Really pleased with this one. I mean, you know how good he is anyway. Oh, he's pleased to have joined and play for me, which is nice. That's really cute. Yeah, he was always going to come in if I could get him. We've got him on a really good deal, 350 quid a week. That is an absolute bargain, in my honest opinion. So I'm really pleased that we've got him in to partner him. Or at least I expect to partner him most likely the moment in time, but this may change, is going to be Charlie Baker. So he's coming on loan from Charlton. He is on quite a hefty pay packet. That's the word I was looking for. But I have got a clause in this loan where I can terminate it if I don't fancy it. So yes, he's on quite a hefty amount of money for us. The good thing is, like I say, if I don't fancy him, I can just bin him off. So it's not the end of the world. 2 more players who have joined us. Luke Butterfield, again on a pretty hefty amount, but this guy looks the business. Centre midfield to replace Jack Chambers, who's moved on. It was really weird. He wanted to sign a contract, didn't sign one, then refused to negotiate on any further terms. Then when I started bringing in people, despite the fact he was leaving in the summer, he moaned because we were signing players to replace him. It was all very strange, very, very odd indeed. But yeah. Luke looks like a really good player, Scottish. Like I said, paying a lot for him, but those mentors and those physicals look really, really nice. So very, very happy with him coming in. And then Fouad Sessé is the last one we brought in. He comes in from Ipswich. He's on again a fairly nonchalant amount of money, to be fair, which is quite nice. And he's going to be playing a left back. He's a Sierra Leonean international as well. So bringing some internationals in, and look, he is absolutely rapid. Could probably do with a bit of work on the technical and the mental side of things, but that's fine. We can move on with that. So that will do for now. So let's go and have a quick look at the squad depth. Has been a while since I've looked at this save, so my apologies. We have also got a couple of people in on loan, but of which we have offered contracts to, if I'm not mistaken. I probably should have looked at this before I went back in and started re-recording, shouldn't I? But that's not part of the fun. So in goal, I'm fine because I know that Callum Rollins is there as well, even though he's dropped a little bit down the pecking order to an extent, but that's okay. Left back, I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable about because Jordan Zamora we know can play there anyway, and Sessé is probably going to play ahead of him, so that's fine. Centre half, we could probably do one more, but again, if we don't get one more in, then I'm quite happy with that because some of these players, although their ratings don't look particularly good, like you look at the likes of Andy Janieva, we know how good he is, so I'm not going to be hugely concerned. If Jordan Turnbull, however, moves on, then we maybe need to have a think about getting a replacement in. So we'll keep an eye out anyway, see how we get on. Right back I'm fine with because we've got Perry, Kessler and Barker and Genesini who can play there. I forgot Sam Perry could play there, but it'll be Kessler and Genesini mainly who will play there. Left wing, so this is where one of the potential trialists has come in, Billy Leach. He can play on both sides on the left, so he can play a bit further forward as well, which is quite nice. So he's on trial at the moment. He's wanted by, as you can see, quite a few clubs. So got to be a little bit careful. In fact, I think I may have put a bid in for him already. Yeah, I have, yeah. So contract offer's already in play. So hopefully we can keep in, because looking at the shrouded, whatever you could, the masked stats, that's what the attributes, looks like he could be pretty good. He's not played a lot before, but I think we can get a pretty good player for. In fact, he played in the Vanarama National for Torquay last year and was really good. So fingers crossed he can make the leap. Centre mid, again, could do with some strengthening here because Edwards and Sutcliffe being the bottom two, they're technically centre half, so that worries me a little bit. Roy Ashton is a player I'm looking at, so he's on loan as well. We offered him a contract as well. Again, looks like a good potential player, so it's nice to have an option there. Brennan, I probably mentioned this before, apologies if I have, but Brennan was signed on another year loan, so he's not going anywhere, which is fantastic. Thistleton's still there again. Kessler, we know, can play there as well. And then up top, probably don't need anyone here either because there's enough strength there, including the likes of Tommy Wright as well, that can do a job. So I'm not hugely concerned about that. We've got, in theory, 3, maybe 4 centre forwards, so maybe we could do one more. Probably one more. We'll keep a look out anyway. And then in this formation, in the 4-3-3, I'm not hugely concerned. Left and right, we're strong up there. Striker again, we're stronger there because we only need one. And based in midfield again, got a lot of options there. So it's all looking good at the moment. We've still got a way to go. We've got a handful of friendlies booked in. You can see playing Arsenal as an example, Barnsley, Dartford and Llanelli. So I believe you pronounce it. And our first game of the season is going to be against Mansfield, but that will obviously be the next episode. So we'll carry on. We'll push a couple of weeks more until we get some transfers in, and I'll catch you in a minute. Well, that didn't really go to plan. Billy Leach has gone to Torquay. Ashton has gone to Bradford City. And then another player who looked so good in the form of Grant Smart, he has gone to Coventry. There you go. He's on trial with us. I mean, 83 rate. Look at that. So much quality there. He would have been absolute class, but he didn't want to join either, so we're back to square one. We have brought in a couple of people on loan, so we're looking at Billy Vigor, who looks okay, but obviously we've still got to kind of see what's going on. This finishing worries me. Strength as a pressing forward worries me a little bit as well. Work rate's there, but yeah, maybe a little bit of work needed on him, so maybe not one we'll go with. George Walters, he's coming on trial. He looks rubbish, so not going to do too much of him. And then Dion Donoghue again doesn't really enamour me a huge amount. We're really struggling to bring people in this summer, and we've only got a couple of weeks to get it all sorted and squared away. Alrighty then, folks. We are on the day of the first game of the season. Mansfield, of course, like I said, won't play in that game today. Unfortunately, you have to wait until Monday for that episode, where we'll play the first 2 games, which will be Mansfield and Shrewsbury. Just to give you a bit of a flavour and a roundup of the squad, we didn't, to be honest, as you can see, we're very busy going forwards, but we've really struggled to bring in players because everyone we've tried to bring in either we couldn't afford, or should I say, not couldn't afford, we could have afforded, but I didn't want to spend so much money on them because I don't want to go crazy in the summer, or they didn't want to join, or they went somewhere else. I suppose the last two are kind of the same. So we'll jump in here. You see there's a few more players we brought in, a couple of loanies and a player that we bought as well, oh yeah, I remember who he is now, sorry. So first one we brought in is Neil Rowlands. So he is a right winger / centre forward. So he's looking like a really nice option. He's coming on loan from Peterborough for no charge whatsoever. So he's free, which is great, which you really like. Really good finishing on the lad, passing maybe a little bit of work if he's going to play out on the wing, but he can play up top really nicely. I'm quite happy with that. Decent stamina, decent enough physicals, mentals. Yeah, they're okay. For this level in League One, they're probably pretty good to be fair. So he looks like he should be a really good option. I haven't quite decided where he'll play yet. Probably centre forward. He'll probably be an out-for-out replacement of Sam Rodber because he's still not fully fit. But we'll see. I honestly haven't decided yet. I've still got a bit of time to figure that one out. He says going into the first game, literally after this click. Neil McCarthy is another one brought in. I was desperate for a left winger. He's not the best, as you can see, not by some stretch. His physicals are incredible, to be fair to him, barring that strength, which is a little bit disappointing, but otherwise really good there. Mentals, what he needs are okay as a winger, which is fine, but it's the technicals that he's letting himself down, really. He is going out on loan. I can't remember who it is who've put a loan bid in for him. Can I see that easily? Welling, they're the ones. They've put a loan bid in. We've accepted it. He's going to go out on loan, I think. So he looks like a really good option. We just have to try and get him back up to speed with us in there. And then the first choice left mid, although it comes up saying as right mid, is this guy. So Armstrong Oko Flex. Just an interesting name. Stretch Armstrong, I'm feeling he's probably going to be called. He's 6'2", so yeah, kind of fits with that as well. Again, really good physicals on him. Mentals again, all right. Technical's far better than McCarthy's, well, let's be honest. He has come in on loan from Sheffield Wednesday for the year. We've paid $3,000 a week for him, which is way too much. But he can play literally anywhere in the front five positions that we have in our formations, which I'm quite happy with. Like I say, he will play on the left. He will play only either the the further forward or the dropping back. I haven't quite decided. Obviously, it depends on the formation, things like that. But he has come in really pleased to manage to get him. Literally dropped into my scout report and was like, "Yeah, this guy's a good option." I was like, "Had a look. Yeah, he looks spot on." So, yeah, he has come in. Very intrigued to see how he gets on. So, should be a good option. Otherwise, I think that's it. In fact, I never told you about all the players that left the club, did I? So Ryan Huddart left. Jack Chambers, you knew, left because I mentioned it before. Jake Young did leave. Amazingly, I forgot to say, he'd been here for 2 years, and I just completely didn't realise. He had one half-decent season, and he kind of just didn't really do much in League Two, did he? And then, unfortunately, our first new gen, our first name in the game player, Matty Nelms, has disappeared off into the abyss. It does remind me I do need to add him onto my shortlist indefinitely, so we can always keep an eye out for him. But yeah, Matty has disappeared off. Unfortunately, not found a club yet. I mean, his record with us wasn't fantastic, was it? 3 games, not a single goal scored. Yeah, the less said about him, the better, really. Sorry, Matt. I think that was it. Was there anyone else? No, these guys all left before, so nothing really to worry about there. In fact, he's the second one. Dom, I'm so sorry, buddy. You're at Gloucester. There you go. Should we have a quick rip round to see if anyone else has gone? I think it was just you two. Yeah, it's just you two. That's fine. So yeah, that is kind of where we're at. If we go and have a look at the squad depth, like I say, Oko Flex will sit there. So Stretch Armstrong's going to be on the left. Brennan's still going to be on the right-hand side anyway. I am still looking for a centre mid. I believe one of these two I have put in a bid for. I can't remember. But it'll be Butterfield and Perry to kick us off, I think. Seems most likely. Left back, fine. Centre half, again. Could really have done with some extra beefing up there. But it's just been so difficult, honestly. Every single time we tried to go in for a player, they've either wanted too much or we just don't want, or they don't want to join us, which is really frustrating. And I've also put in a bid for a centre forward as well. So you see here, Charlie Kelman and Benny Smales Braithwaite are both being looked at for trials. Haven't got. I thought I did have a centre mid on with a contract in on him. I can't remember. Maybe not. I'll have to have a look at that again. But yeah, that's kind of how we're looking. It's not looking fantastic. I'm not holding out hope. In fact, before we go too much further, before I finish the episode, let's just have a look at the season preview. As you can see, quite comfortably adrift at the bottom of the table according to the predicted positions. We have the two worst players in the division, which are Luke Butterfield and Arthur Okonkwo, who are our two best players. That's the two best key players for our team. I know what I mean anyway. So yeah, not particularly confident, but then again, I wasn't confident last season and we got up by the playoffs. So who knows what might happen. It's going to be an interesting season. As I said, we will kick off on Monday with the first game of the season against Shrewsbury and Mansfield. We have already beaten Mansfield in pre-season, so that's a Billy bonus. So if you've enjoyed this one, guys, like I say, it is something a bit different. So if you don't like these, please let me know. Let me know in the comments if you don't want me to do transfer specials. This one, I appreciate it hasn't been ideal because we couldn't get anyone in. It's been really difficult to try and get some new players in. But if you do like them, let me know. Drop a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments as well. And I'll do one for the next couple of seasons as we go through it as well. But for today's episode, guys, that's going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching. My name's been David. Catch you again soon. Cheers.